Hello, once again, and welcome to the First Pitch podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth, and we are going to dive into some baseball today. It's a fun day of games. Let's see what happened. First of all, of course, as always, we're going to start with the news. The Giants made a flurry of roster moves. Matt Chapman has been activated from the IL as he'll return and of course, be playing some third base for them. Eric Miller, who's been getting a lot of work for them, is heading to the 15-day IL with a left elbow sprain. They've also selected the contract of Scott Alexander and DFA'd Sergio Alcantara, who they recently selected the contract of. He played a few times, didn't see him having too much success, so he has been DFA'd and will now enter that land. After being released by the Reds recently, Jeimer Candelario has signed with the Yankees on a minor league deal. He received multiple offers. He decided on the Yankees, and it's a path where if he does perform in AAA, he should be able to find his way back to a major league roster. They have flexibility with Jazz Chisholm Jr., and anytime they really needed somebody, Jorbit Vivas got a lot of playing time during Chisholm's injury. So there's going to be an opening in the Yankees. And if Candelario can hit and show them he can hit, then he should get a chance. And that is significant because Yankee Stadium. I mean, if he's going to be making contact, he could be productive once again, especially in terms of fantasy playing in Yankee Stadium. So we'll see what happens. It's a minor league deal. The Yankees also announced that they're planning to promote top pitching prospect Cam Schlitter early next week. They said the report I saw said Tuesday or Wednesday. He is good. He's got, obviously a top prospect for a reason. He's got a good fastball and sweeper combo and struck out an impressive amount of batters this year in the upper minors between double and triple A. It's over 30%. Every prospect outlet rather seems to have his fastball as like a 60 grade, a plus pitch. So if that is indeed true, it's not official. This is just the rumor and expectation. If it is indeed true, he will add some youth and some excitement to that Yankees rotation. This comes, of course, with the expectation that Clark Schmidt's going to need Tommy John surgery. So he is going to be out for a while and miss well into next season if that is indeed what is going to be happening with Clark Schmidt. The Astros signed Hector Neris to an MLB deal, so he will be in the bullpen for Houston. He was just recently released by the Angels. Diamondbacks get a big boost to their lineup, activating Corbin Carroll from the 10-day IL. He hasn't played since June 18th after being hit on the wrist by a pitch. Corbin Carroll went 0 for 5 with a strikeout in his return to action, but obviously he's Corbin Carroll and can do many good things in a very short amount of time because he just happens to be super good at this whole baseball thing. Tim Tawa has been optioned to AAA in order to make room for Carroll's return. Emmett Sheehan is going to be starting later today for the Dodgers. He had his return from Tommy John surgery earlier. It went well. They sent him down almost immediately because Dodgers, they needed the roster spots, wanted the bullpen flexibility, whatever the case may be. He had to wait 15 days. Well, now he is slated to return, and he will be starting later today for the Dodgers. Good to see him back. Hopefully he can find some more success. Maybe stick longer than a day this time. We'll have to see how that roster churn in Los Angeles goes. And Shinosuke Agasawara, hope I pronounced that correctly. Apologies if I did not. He's slated to start for the Nats against the Red Sox. I will have more about that coming up later in this podcast. But first, let's jump into some hitting highlights. Yanier Diaz hit his 11th home run of the season. It was a ridiculously slow start, enough for me to sell off and try to move on from the shares that I had of Diaz, but he's picked it up lately, hitting .269 with 6 home runs over his last 30 games. So especially from that catcher position, he's been doing everything you would like him to do. And again, just turning things around from that slow start. Spencer Torkelson for the Tigers appears to be heating up once again. This may be what it is with Torque. He may come in waves, be super hot and hit home runs endlessly, and then he may strike out for a while, not get some hits. I've mentioned this before on this podcast. I've talked about it a lot with Scott Chu, and we both kind of agree with Spencer Torkelson. You want to watch that walk rate. If he is still walking, he will still provide value in fantasy leagues, especially if you're in an OBP league when the average and the hits aren't there, because he's probably not going to hit for a super high average. So if he's not providing power, it may be rough fantasy waters, but if he is walking, that's still helpful. Anyway, Torque hit a bomb. It was the only run scored by either the Tigers or the Guardians in the game. He has 3 home runs over his last 7 games, and he's hitting .357 in that time. So we are on one of those Spencer Torkelson hot streaks right now. Colson Montgomery, top White Sox prospect who debuted, this was his second game that happened yesterday. He debuted the day before, did not get a hit in the second game. He recorded 3 hits, including a triple. It's only 2 games, but it is good to see that he's only struck out once. That was a huge thing for him in AAA. At one point, I'm pretty sure he was at like 45% strikeout rate. It was huge. That's why he got sent to Florida for a little bit in order to rework his swing, and it's worked since. And we'll have to see how it continues to work in a bigger sample size than 2 games at the big league level. But in your second game, 3 hits, including a triple, not too shabby. Good for Colson Montgomery, and obviously this was his first major league hit too, so congratulations to Colson Montgomery. Brenton Doyle for the Rockies did not start in the game, but was brought in as a pinch hitter, and he hit a home run. The season has not gone the way Brenton Doyle would want it to, but he is still hitting the ball hard, if not a little harder than last year, according to the numbers, at least the last time I checked. It's just been a little bit of bad luck, kind of waiting for that to turn around over his last 7 games. He is hitting .292, so maybe that luck's starting to turn. 3 hits for Jackson Chourio yesterday. He had a double and stole his 16th base on the year. He's up to .259, and at one point, somebody had asked me if it's time to give up on Jackson Chourio because he was striking out a lot in the early part of the season. The answer is no. Do not. Just don't do it. Bad advice. Don't do it. Well, good advice from me. Don't do it. Bad idea. Anyway, let's move on. Pete Alonso hit a pair of home runs during his fantastic miracle Mets season. I guess he's not the miracle Mets, obviously, but he did hit a pair of home runs, recorded 5 RBIs as the Mets put up 12 runs. They put up 6 on Carlos Rodon, which has not happened often this year. Brandon Nimmo added a grand slam of his own as well. So between Alonso and Nimmo, that is 5 RBIs on the day for the Mets. Jordan Westburg had his little injury scare, or at least the most recent one. He didn't hit the IL, but he was out for a few games. He's been back for 2 games now, and in both of those games, he has hit a home run. Obviously, just 2 games, 4 for 8 with a pair of homers and 3 RBIs. He's hitting the ball really well. Austin Riley and Matt Olson both hit a double and a home run for the Braves. Riley had 3 RBIs. Olson had 2 as well as a pair of walks. Ceddanne Rafaela hit a double and a homer as well. This obviously for the Red Sox. He's hitting .302 with 4 home runs over his last 15 games on the year. He has 10 home runs, 11 steals, but for a guy who's not supposed to be able to hit, he's been hitting pretty well lately. Baseball's a game of streaks. He's on a good one. Speaking of streaks, this one's more of a season. Yet another George Springer home run. He's got 5 bombs over his last 7 games. More impressive, over his last 30, Springer's hitting .339 with 10 home runs, and he's getting on base. He's limiting strikeouts. I mean, it's just a crazy good season. There's not a whole lot more to say about it. Just one day after hitting 3 home runs, Michael Busch collected another 3 hits. This one also included a home run. Only one of them, though. He hit a double and a single. That means in his last 2 games, he's 7 for 9 with 4 home runs and 6 RBIs, which I'm told, pretty good. Royce Lewis had another couple of hits. He went 2 for 4, both of them singles. Still not a lot of power, but he's making things happen. He's starting to hit for a little bit more average. You got to hope that power is going to come. I'm going to keep banging this drum because I'm a Royce Lewis believer, but that terrible stretch he went on seems to be something of the past. He's been very good. He was good right before his most recent injury, and he's been hitting the ball, at least singles, 1 double, but he's been hitting the ball since he came back in the few games. Hopefully this is a sign of good things to come from Royce Lewis. Josh Smith collected 2 hits for the Rangers, including a leadoff home run, his 8th of the year. He's hitting .282. I mean, he's played everywhere on the diamond: first, second, third, short, outfield. The outfield and second base, I don't think he's played enough to have eligibility in fantasy or at least keep it next year so far. We're not even halfway through the year. But it's another one of those Zach McKinstry type, like he's doing good things. It's not overly, you know, filling up counting stats, but he is hitting the ball well. He's playing good baseball, and he plays a lot of positions, and that is just valuable in fantasy. Finally, for hitters, Willie Adamace picked up 3 hits and 4 RBIs, hitting .225 on the year. Obviously, I got off to a slow start, but he's picked things up lately. He's hitting .340 with a pair of home runs over his last 15 games. He's up to 10 home runs on the year. Of course, the 3 hits, all singles in the game yesterday. Taking a look at some of the starting pitching, Framber Valdez struck out 7, walked 2 while surrendering 4 earned runs against the Dodgers. This was my game of the day, so let's check in on the other side. Ohtani went 2 innings. So went 2 innings once again, gave up 1 hit and struck out 3, proving dude can still pitch and also be one of the best home run hitters this year because Shohei Ohtani is absolutely insane at baseball, all aspects of it. Casey Mize threw 7 shutout innings, struck out 4 with a pair of walks, lowering his season ERA to 2.63. He's got 73 strikeouts across 85 and 2/3 innings. It's good to see the number 1 overall picks for the Tigers, Torque and Mize. They are having good seasons this year, and that's what they needed to be good, and, well, they have been. Cal Quantrill, good day against the Brewers, struck out 6, walked 1, gave up a pair of earned runs across 3 1/3 innings. Ryan Nelson for the Diamondbacks struck out 5 over 7 innings, a 1-run ball. He has a 2.97 ERA with 30 strikeouts in his last 36 1/3 innings. Nick Lodolo struck out 8 Phillies over 6 innings while giving up 3 earned runs. All the damage came on a pair of home runs, one by Edmundo Sosa, one by Alec Boehm, but overall, strikeout pitch working for Nick Lodolo. Rangers Suarez surrendered just a run over 5 innings while striking out 6. His season ERA now sits under 2 at a 1.99. Yesterday's podcast talked about Taj Bradley's insane pattern of giving up a ton of runs and then throwing shutouts. It was like 0-7, 0-6, 0-5 or whatever it was. Well, he didn't keep the pattern up, but he did okay. Struck out 5 over 5 2/3 innings, surrendered 3 earned runs. Mike Burrows for the Pirates worked around 3 hits and 4 walks, so high walks, but he threw 5 shutout innings and struck out 6 against the Mariners. Burrows has a 2.30 ERA with 36 strikeouts over his last 31 1/3 innings. This outing was not indicative of his walks either. He has 14 and just shy of 40 innings in his totality of work at the MLB level. So, I mean, he had 4 in this game. That's 4 of the 14 he has on the year. He's done a good job limiting those and obviously been striking guys out lately. So, some good performances from Mike Burrows. Burrows, of course, outdueled in that game by Luis M. Castillo, who allowed just 2 hits. That's it. All he did was allow 2 hits, 7 shutout innings. He struck out 8 against the Pirates. And finally, in pitching, Logan Webb struck out 6, gave up a pair of earned runs over 6 2/3 innings against the Athletics, just continuing to put up solid performances because he is, in fact, Logan Webb, and Logan Webb is a good pitcher. After a quick timeout, we are going to come back, look at some of the games coming up today. A lot of good pitching. A lot of good pitching, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. I appreciate you being here. My name is Trevor Hooth, and this is the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. And welcome back to the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Always happy to have you with me. We've talked news, we've talked hitting, we've talked pitching. Let's talk a little more pitching. See what we got coming up today. So, as mentioned during the news segment of this podcast, Shinosuke Agasawara, again, hopefully I didn't mess up that name too badly. He is slated to start against Garrett Crochet and the Red Sox today. He meaning Ogasawara, has a 4.80 ERA with 12 strikeouts in 15 innings in AAA. He is not somebody, based on what I've seen, read, that I would be looking to add or stream, especially against the Red Sox. I think they're going to do some damage against him. He relies mostly on soft contact with a fastball around 90 miles an hour. He's a lefty. He may find success at the big league level. The Nationals are certainly excited about him, at least outwardly, based on how they're talking, but it doesn't seem like a very fantasy friendly profile. And so that is something that I am not, I don't know. It's just not a pitcher that I'm going to be looking at trying to stream for today's games. Brandon Woodruff is going to be making his return to MLB action after 2 years. It has been a long wait. He's going to square off against Edward Cabrera and the Mariners. The last information I had, Woodruff's velo was down during his rehab stint in AAA, so we'll see how he looks as he makes his return against the Marlins. And then there's so many good pitchers that are going to be going in today's games. I just want to start listing them. Garrett Crochet, as I mentioned, Tarek Skubal is going to be on the mound. Max Fried. We have Rasmussen versus Joe Ryan. We have Paul Skeens versus George Kirby. It's going to be a fun day. I mean, those are just the highlights. There's still so many other great pitchers, and that doesn't include the game of the day, which is the Reds versus the Phillies. Chase Burns versus Zach Wheeler. Last time out, Chase Burns was not at his best. It was not a good outing at all. But if you remember in his debut, he did strike out 8 while giving up 3 earned runs. He's going to be taking on the Phillies offense, which isn't a great matchup. But so far, he's faced the Red Sox and the Yankees. So I guess why not the Phillies third time out? But if he's got his stuff going, if you have Chase Burns versus Zach Wheeler, that is going to be strikeouts galore. I don't know. It's not a game that I'm going to want to miss. So that's my game of the day. I do appreciate you joining me. Jake Crumpler back with you guys tomorrow. And until next weekend, I will, that's when I'll see you next. With that, make sure to check out pitcherlist.com. We have all the great top 100 pitching rankings from Nick Pollock, top 100 hitters from Scott Chu, and of course, Rick Graham's reliever lists. He's got a couple different ones depending on the league you are in. And there's a bunch of fantastic written content coming out all the time. So make sure to check out pitcherlist.com and join PL Pro if you have not. All those smart minds that are writing that content, well, they're in that Discord, and that's how you join that Discord. So I will see you guys next weekend. My name is Trevor Hooth, and this has been another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List.